got it. See, Universitas Indonesia.
Of course.
Yeah, not University of Indonesia. Yeah. And our statute is said that Universitas Indonesia, not University of Indonesia.
Yeah.
Not University of Indonesia.
Safety induction dulu kan? Good afternoon.
Itu linknya banyak tuh. Anu dulu aja. Udah disimpan di dokumen. Nanti tinggal di copy aja.
Tes cek. Safety induction ya.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin our general lecture today, let us hear the safety induction conducted by the Occupational Health and Safety Community Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Indonesia. The place and time is yours. Thank you. Selamat siang dan salam sejahtera untuk Anda sekalian. Saat ini saya akan menyampaikan panduan keselamatan atau safety induction di ruangan ini. Saat ini kita berada di Aula A, Gedung Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Indonesia. Ruangan ini berada di lantai 2 Gedung A FKM UI. Penting bagi kita untuk mengetahui jalur evakuasi ketika terjadi keadaan darurat. Ruangan ini dilengkapi dengan satu pintu utama di sebelah kanan Anda. Ruangan ini juga dilengkapi dengan alat pemadam api ringan atau APAR yang terletak di sebelah kanan pintu utama. Apabila terjadi keadaan darurat, diharapkan tetap tenang dan jangan panik. Segera keluar melalui pintu utama, menggunakan tangga dan menuju ke titik berkumpul. Titik berkumpul terletak di parkiran Gedung A FKM UI. Jangan lupa untuk menghubungi nomor darurat Universitas Indonesia di 14001. Dan bagi Anda sivitas akademika UI dapat menggunakan aplikasi UI Panic Button yang dapat Anda unggah di smartphone Anda. Sekali lagi, Anda jangan lupa menghubungi nomor darurat UI di 14001. Dan bagi Anda sivitas akademika UI dapat menggunakan UI Panic Button yang dapat Anda unduh di smartphone Anda. Sekian dan terima kasih, selamat menikmati acara ini. Utamakan keselamatan dan kesehatan kalian karena budaya ketiga budaya kita. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sela. I'm a student of Occupational Health and Safety Department. And today I'm going to give you a safety induction to give an overview of this room and evacuation step if there's an emergency situation. You are currently at Auditorium A, building of Faculty of Public Health, University of Indonesia. There's a one main door in this room that is located at your right side, and there's a fire extinguisher outside this room right next to the main door. If there's an emergency situation, please keep calm and do not panic. Get out of this building and go to the assembly point at parking area of Building A, Faculty of Public Health. This is an emergency contact that you should reach if there's an emergency situation. Nomor darurat UI at 14001. Or you can use UI Panic Button application that you can download in Play Store. Once again, nomor darurat UI at 14001. Please enjoy this event and don't forget to prioritize your health and safety because safety culture is our culture. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon to our beloved and also to our honorable guests. And welcome to Dr. Asri as the representative of the Dean of Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Indonesia.
And also good afternoon and welcome to Dr. Amanda Katili as the Director of the Climate Reality Project Indonesia.
We would like also to welcome Mr. Matthew Boms as the International Manager of Climate Reality Project in Washington, D.C.
And also welcome to all the honorable lecturers, guests, staffs, and all the participants from all the faculties.
Welcome to Climate Action Underground General Lecture.
Okay, first of all, we are going to introduce ourselves. My name is Firda Rahmadianti, and I'm a student of Public Health, majoring in Environmental Health, batch 2013.
And my name is Gita Permata Aryati, Environmental Health student, batch 2014. And today we're going to be your Master of Ceremony for today's event.
Yes, Gita. And today's lecture is proudly presented by Environmental Health major from Department of Environmental Health, Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Indonesia.
Yes, we are also in partnership with Research Center for Climate Change, Universitas Indonesia, and also in participation with Climate Reality Project Indonesia.
That is correct. And now, before we begin this lecture today, we would like to invite Dr. Asri Adisasmita as the representative of Dean of Faculty of Public Health to give us some remarks.
To Dr. Asri, the presentation is yours.
Thank you, terima kasih. Saya lupa namanya. Indah dan Firda. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang semuanya. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Good afternoon and welcome to Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat, Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Indonesia in Depok. I would like to welcome you, Mr. Matthew Baum, from the you are the International Manager of Climate Reality Project in Washington, D.C., and also Dr. Amanda Katili, the Director of Climate Reality Project Indonesia, and also the other experts in environmental health, special envoys from the President's Office for Environmental Health, and also for our faculty from Department of Environmental Health, Dr. Ririn, Dr. Budi Haryanto, Pak Rahmat. Where is the other Dr. Budi Hartono? Okay, and all of our participants, the students, and maybe if there are any other students from other faculty. Thank you very much for the participation in this. I believe that this is going to be a very good and useful lecture for all of us in environmental health and climate change. I heard it from both Dr. Amanda Katili and Mr. Matthew Boms about this climate project. So he might be a very good envoy for all the youth, us, to to take care of our earth, so that we can pass this earth to our next generation in a better shape, because we know that what happened in not only in Indonesia but all over the world, but Indonesia, we have a lot of forests that we have to take care of, and if the forests are being deforestation, I guess it's not only Indonesia but also the world will suffer. And lately I think many of you also received messages about the humongous waste of plastics down at the bottom of the sea that ruin all our terumbu karang, and this will for sure will affect the climate change. So I might not be talking a lot because this is I'm very interested in environmental health and in climate change, but not an expert in this. I'm more on the observer. I'm sorry that I cannot be present in this lecture, although I'm really I'm really interested in being here, but I have a class to teach. So I would like to welcome Mr. Matthew Bones to give your lecture. And thank you for your willingness to come to Faculty of Public Health and share your knowledge and maybe your enthusiastic in taking care of the earth. So tidak berlama-lama saya akan di sini. Dengan demikian akan kita buka acara ini officially opened for this general lecture. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Asri, for the wonderful welcoming remarks. As it has been officially opened, maybe some of you here have been wondering, what is a climate reality project? Yeah, or maybe some of you, right? Yeah, or maybe some of you have been asking, who is our special guest and special speaker today? And I think we might get more information, more explanation. Of course, so without any further ado, please let us invite the Director of Climate Reality Project Indonesia to give her welcome remarks and also a brief explanation about today's event. So please welcome Dr. Amanda Katli. This place and time is yours. Please give a clap.
Thank you for the nice introduction to all of us. Wow, lots of students. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya dan atas kedatangannya. May I have to speak in Indonesian, okay? Saya Amanda Katli, manager dari The Climate Reality Project Indonesia. The Climate Reality Project adalah organisasi yang didirikan oleh mantan Wakil Presiden Amerika Serikat, Mr. Al Gore, yang juga merupakan pemenang hadiah Nobel Perdamaian tahun 2007. Intinya memberikan pemahaman kepada berbagai lapisan masyarakat tentang perubahan iklim dari berbagai bidang, jadi tidak harus scientist, dan mereka dilatih oleh Al Gore sekitar 3 hari. Yang sudah dilatih disebut climate leaders. Rentang usia climate leaders antara 6 tahun sampai 84 tahun. Jadi siapapun juga bisa berbagi informasi tentang hal ini setelah mendapatkan informasi yang akan kita dapatkan dari Matthew. So the age range of climate leaders, Matt, 6 to 84 years old, and everybody could talk about climate change as long as we already have some information, either from Mr. Gore or you, and the Climate Reality Project in general. Di Indonesia sendiri ada 300 climate leaders, yaitu mereka yang sudah dilatih oleh the Honorable Al Gore tentang perubahan iklim. Beberapa ada di sini dan kita semua volunteer. Saya ingin memperkenalkan Ibu Murni Titi Resdiana. Silakan Bu, berdiri. Ibu Murni Titi Resdiana adalah environmental engineer dan juga MBA, dan beliau adalah asisten utusan khusus Presiden RI untuk bidang perubahan iklim. Terima kasih Ibu Titi. Let me introduce you to Miranta Kristanti. Miranta Kristanti juga adalah climate leader. Miranta Kristanti is a green architect. Jadi Kak Tanti ini ada arsitek yang green, dan beberapa bulan lagi akan berangkat ke Wageningen untuk melanjutkan master's programnya. Berikut ada Dian Anggraini, silahkan. Dian adalah sarjana komunikasi, juga volunteer dan bekerja di Pertamina. Jadi kita lihat bagaimana climate communicators itu bisa dari berbagai lapisan masyarakat. Kami beruntung karena kedatangan Matthew Bombs. Matthew ini adalah International Manager dari The Climate Reality Project yang membantu kantor-kantor Climate Reality Project di 10 negara di dunia. Nanti mungkin akan dia terangkan di mana. Orangnya masih muda, jadi mungkin cocok berkomunikasi dengan para mahasiswa. Dan Matthew ini adalah lulusan London School of Economics. Mari kita dengarkan apa kata. Silakan ini ya dulu ya MC-nya, saya nggak tahu apa acara berikutnya. Again, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Amanda Catley, for a wonderful introduction and also welcoming remarks.
Yes, and as it's been explained, I think that is the moment that we've been waiting for. You can see from all the excited faces, I think we can't wait any longer, yeah?
But then, before we begin our general lecture, I would like to remind all the audiences to turn off their cell phones or put them in silent mode to not disturb this general lecture for today. So, without any further ado,
Yes, please welcome our guest lecturer, Mr. Matthew Bombs.
please and time is yours.
Selamat siang. Thank you very much. I feel like Justin Bieber. I have this nice reception, you know. I'm not really a celebrity. Can we turn off the lights for the presentation? Would it be possible? In 1 hour, your cell phone will still be available for you. So please put your cell phone away. This is very important. Your future depends on this information. Can you turn off all the lights? Is it possible to turn these lights off, please? Welcome to the movie theater. Who has heard of climate change before? Does anybody know what climate change is? Nobody? Anybody know climate change? Yeah, one person. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little information about climate change, but most importantly, we're going to discuss as a group why it matters, right? Because this is either science or it can be your life and the future generations that are depending on us today. So please put away your cell phones. Please put away your cell phones. Thank you. Next, please. Next, please. So, anybody know what planet this is? Yeah, Saturn. And this one? Earth. So some of you have seen this photo already. 2 years ago, Cassini went to see Saturn, explore the planet, take some photos, and then it turned around and took a photo of the Earth. And this is how small we really are, right? So everything that's ever happened, everything with human civilization, war, disease, famine, every crisis that's ever happened is on this tiny little blue dot that's floating in the outer space, right? So let's first remember that we're very, 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 very small. Yeah. Next slide, please. This is the famous image of Earth from the moon, right, in the 60s. So finally we saw the moon, the Earth for the first time. Next slide, please. And of course, this pale blue dot, this beautiful image of the Earth. I want to warn you that this is a dangerous image, because now you're thinking this precious Earth, this precious planet needs to be protected, right? We are holding this tiny planet in our hands. Wrong. Not true. The planet is holding us in its hands, right? We belong to the planet. In a single moment, the planet could throw us away, and it would survive for billions of years. So the Earth is not depending on us for its future, but we are depending on this Earth. Next, please. This is the tiny thin blue atmosphere, and this is where all of our garbage, all of our pollution is going to this tiny little atmosphere, right? So when we talk about climate change, let's remember that Earth may be rather large, but the atmosphere is very, very small. So it's this tiny, thin, blue, pale atmosphere. Next. Okay, what is global warming? Climate change. Next, please. The sun hits the Earth in the form of light. Next. Most of the radiation is absorbed by the Earth, and the Earth warms up. It heats up from the sun. Next. Some of this goes back into space, right, bounces off of the Earth. Next. And some of this is trapped by the Earth's atmosphere and starts to warm it, right? So this is a pretty natural balance. We need this balance to survive as humans, right? Otherwise the Earth would be so cold that we wouldn't survive. So great that some of the heat is trapped here. Next slide, please. But this is the problem, right? We've been emitting all of this carbon dioxide for the last 150 years, and now we're feeling the consequences of all of this carbon. Next slide, please. Next slide. So you'll see that this atmosphere here is becoming more and more loaded with carbon dioxide. So more heat is getting trapped in that atmosphere. These are the biggest sources of greenhouse gases. So I'll let you have a minute to digest this very intense image. We see coal plants, coal mining, industrial agriculture, oil production, forest burning, land transportation, even garbage, right? We already know that garbage is a source of climate change. Yeah? So all of this is methane emissions. Methane is 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide, right? All of these have solutions, right? So let's not get too depressed. We'll talk about the solutions in a few minutes. But remember that each one of these requires a different solution, right? So we can solve this problem, but we need to take it one at a time. Indonesia, obviously, one of their big problems is forest burning, right? In other countries, they would be more focused on oil production. Maybe they have more landfill problems. Maybe agriculture is a big problem, but in Indonesia, we're really focusing here on forest burning. Next slide, please. Next. So this shows you the global carbon emissions from fossil fuels. And we see in 1850, we're not talking that long ago. This is only, what we're talking, less than 200 years. And there was no carbon dioxide from human beings, right? So we were around for a good couple 100,000 years, no carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now, in the last 200 years, we've gone all the way up here, and we're at around 11 billion tons of carbon dioxide. And this is just in this tiny short span of time, right? Next, please. So why do I care? Right? What does it matter? Does anybody have any idea, any answer for this question? Why do you care about climate change? If you raise your hand, I'll bring you to a microphone. Why do you care? Yeah.
Because we have nowhere else to live outside Earth. There's no backup plan for other planets. So that's why, we should care.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Because I still want to live.
You want to live?
Yeah, so why do I care? Because I want to live life maybe.
Me too. I want to live. Anyone else? Yes. This and then you.
One of the reasons is because this is
is our planet, this is where we live, so we should care. There's no other option.
Okay, so why do we need to care about climate change? Because climate change affects so many things in this world which we live, and if we don't prevent this climate change, or at least reduce the effect of climate change, we won't live very long, and our children wouldn't have the same experience as us. So we need it to be as sustainable as possible.
Anyone else? Any volunteers? Oh, it's so far away. I'm getting my exercise. Where were you again? I can't see you. Okay.
Well, because this is our earth and we need to take care of it, and I want my children and my grandchildren to feel the same earth that we have. And if we have the problem right now, we need to fix it because it's our responsibilities.
Anyone else? Volunteer?
Because earth has gave us everything, and what have we gave to earth? We have to care about earth.
It's amazing. Anything else? So much inspiration. Anyone else? Okay, last one. Because I can't run anymore.
Why do I care about climate change? Because climate change affect our crops. If we cannot grow any crops, then what are we going to eat in the future? Thank you. It's simply because we have lived here already since we were born, and we eat from it, we drink from it, so we are responsible for Earth.
Amazing. Is anyone like dying to say something? I don't want to take away your voice. No? We can do more answers at the end as well. Does that make anyone angry? For me, I'm getting very angry because I feel like what you're saying is we have just one planet to live on, right? And we have all these resources that were given to us by the planet. But before us, like before our generation, nobody cared about us. Like, where were the people that said we should change the way we're living so that our kids and our grandkids will have a planet to live on, right? So it is kind of frustrating. It's like, what were they thinking, you know? But the good news is we can change it now. So it's not depressing. I'll give you my answer. Next, please. So my answer is the suffering. These images will show you the effects of climate change directly on human beings. So I'm passionate about this because I don't think that humans need to suffer from this problem. It's not fair for these people. Next slide. And this is obviously drought in Africa. So we're thinking about people who are very vulnerable on a huge continent in the middle of the earth, who now they have basically no rain because of climate change. Next. And did anybody follow Typhoon Yolanda in the Philippines? Yeah? Typhoon Haiyan? When the typhoon hit the Philippines, the ocean temperature was several degrees warmer than normal. Right, so this, you can say, these kids, I mean, that's a direct effect of the way we're living our lives, right? You can draw a line. You can say that we're living like this. We're so unsustainable. All this garbage, all this pollution, right? And then these kids living in the Philippines who now have no family because the water was so warm from climate change that these typhoons, every year these typhoons will hit the Philippines and extreme catastrophic consequences for these families, right? But this is a social justice problem. Next Next, please. This is a Mother Teresa quote on hunger, right? So she's talking about dying for a little love as opposed to dying out of hunger. And I think when we think about, especially in the West, right, where I come from, if you really love the earth and you love humanity, then you won't be polluting as much as we are. Right? These oil companies, gas companies, coal companies, they clearly don't have any interest in humanity, right, or any interest in the environment. Their one focus is on making money and the greed and the profits that they'll come up with. I think our generation, the reason we're unique and special is because that's not our focus, right? We're looking for harmony with the planet, and we care about each other, and we're looking to expand that love and do something about it. So, you can skip 2 more slides ahead, 3 actually, 1 more. Okay, so climate reality, our goal in 2006, the Vice President Al Gore started our project, and we have 11 offices around the world, including Jakarta. We've trained about 12,000 people on the science of climate change. So now there's 12,000 people who can give this exact presentation that I'm giving today. And we have some of them in the room here, and they're more talented than I am. So I encourage you to reach out to Climate Reality if you want to do a presentation in your community, if you want to bring this presentation and spread knowledge about climate change. That's our focus, because we feel like if more young people especially know about this problem, then we can all solve it together, right? It starts with an awareness and a consciousness. Next slide. This is the top 24. I'm actually going to show a quick video clip before we get into this. So in 2006, did anybody watch An Inconvenient Truth? Inconvenient Truth? Yeah, I'm seeing some people. This year, the sequel is coming out, so an Inconvenient sequel, and this is Al Gore around the world showing what has changed in the last 11 years.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, where is the east of global warming? It's freezing.
The most criticized scene in the movie An Inconvenient Truth was showing that the combination of sea level rise and storm surge would flood a 9/11 memorial site. And people said, what a terrible exaggeration.
Hurricane Sandy slammed New York City last night, flooding the World Trade Center site.
Storms get stronger and more destructive. Watch the water splash off the city. This is global warming. Despair can be paralyzing, but this to me is the most exciting new development. We're seeing a tremendous amount of positive change. The basis is there, but it's still not enough.
This first time at the climate change conference in Paris, there's some really tough negotiations going on.
I'm talking about breaking the impasse. Virtually every nation in the entire world agreed to get to zero greenhouse emissions. It is unprecedented.
It's time to put America first. That includes the promise to cancel billions in climate change spending. Our plan will end the EPA.
The next generation will be justified in looking back at us and asking, what were you thinking? Couldn't you hear what the scientists were saying? Couldn't you hear what Mother Nature was screaming at you? This movement is in the tradition of every great movement that has advanced humankind. It is right to save humanity. It is wrong to pollute this earth. It is right to give hope to the future generations. Now, that's not to tell you that we're going to get on rocket ships and live on Mars. This is our home.
So, top 24 greenhouse gas emitters. Indonesia is number 5 on the list. Anyone surprised by that number? I was surprised. I couldn't believe it. Next slide, please. So we're going to go into the details of what's happening here in your country. You might know some of this information already. I'm going to go pretty quickly, actually, because I want to make sure we have a discussion, because there's a lot of brilliant minds in the room, and I want to learn from you. So, next, please. This is greenhouse gas emissions here in this country. So since 1990, you've doubled your greenhouse gas emissions, but still relatively low. I mean, compared to other countries, this isn't really that high. The reason you were number 4 in the world was after the 2015 forest fires. Right, so in 2015, your emissions were irregular, very, very high because of the carbon dioxide from the fire. So where do your emissions come from? This shows you exactly that fact, that 61% from forests, 26% from energy. And next, please, I'll show you on the energy section that this varies greatly, but this is the area where renewable energy can solve this problem. So especially here in electricity and heat and manufacturing, this 26% could be solved only by renewable energy, right? With solar power, wind power, and we'll go into those solutions in a minute. 14 of the 15 hottest years in record have occurred since 2001. So please keep this fact in your pocket. When somebody tells you climate change isn't real, yes it is. Right. Next please. The hottest year ever, 2016. Next please. Annual temperature in Indonesia. So it's gone up in the last 17 years. We've seen pretty consistent variance here, right? So it's about 1.5 degrees warmer than it should be in your country. Next, please. 2.2 degrees by the 2060s, 3.7 degrees by 2100. That's really hot. I know it sounds very small, but especially in the dry season, I think living in Jakarta, you all know that makes a really big difference, right? And this is an average, which means on some days you'll experience something like 6 or 7 degrees warmer than it should be, right? So it's going to get really hot. Next, please. Longer dry season, shorter, more intense wet season. This is in the long run. There are some years I've heard about La Nina causing some effects and making the wet season longer. So that will happen sometimes, but the prediction is this will be a long-term effect. So longer periods with no rain, and then a short season where there's tons of rain and flooding everywhere. Next, please. In West Java, at least 33 people were killed in floods and landslides in September. Next. And in Jakarta, most of you were probably here in February 2015, more than 31 centimeters of rain in 24 hours, right, which is not a normal rainfall. Next, please. This is in Central Java, showing the droughts in 2014 and 2015. Next, please. And Indonesia having one of the highest deforestation rates in the world, so this being the most serious problem for climate change here. Next, please. This shows the smoke exposure deaths due to the fires in 2015, so those were particularly bad fires that year. And the people that were living close by in South Sumatra unfortunately suffered the consequences of the smoke. Next, please. This is global emissions. So now we're talking about the entire world, right? So 3% of the world's global emissions were from the fires in Indonesia. Right, so it's actually pretty significant. And in a year like that, that's super dry, and the fires are out of control, we're talking about a worldwide effect because the fires are intense. Next, please. This is in Jambi. It shows you an image of school children suffering from the air pollution. About 3% of GDP is what they're losing because of air pollution mortality. Next, please. 16 million people are threatened by sea level rise with a warming of 2 degrees. 44 million people impacted by 4 degrees. So when we talk about environmental health, it's not just air pollution, right? We're talking about people that are living on the coasts that will have to move, right? Those people won't have a home to live in anymore. And Indonesia is actually lucky compared to some other countries where, in the South Pacific, for example, I mean, people people in countries like Mauritius, they don't have mountains to go to, right? They're flat, low-lying lands on the ocean. So what other choice do they have? They're going to have to somehow find a new home. Next, please. 1,500 of Indonesia's islands could be lost by 2050. Out of 17,000 islands, I mean, you do have a lot, but 1,500 is a significant number, right? So these are people that are already living on these islands, and species that are endemic to those islands will be lost forever, right? Because these islands are going to wipe out of existence. We're talking about 30 years. This isn't even far in the future, right? If some of you are 20 now, you'll only be 50 years old when this happens. Next, please. Okay, so let's get into some hope and optimism. So, have anyone heard of the Paris Agreement? Yeah, some people have. Paris Agreement. So, in 2015, next please, the nations got together in Paris, right? And the decision was to do something about climate change. Next please. Indonesia ratified the agreement in October 2016. Next please. And these are the commitments you have made. 26% emission reduction by 2020, 29% by 2030. We're making really good progress. So right now, Indonesia is predicted to achieve the first one here. The second one, 41%, that depends on money and technology coming from developed countries. So that's questionable whether you'll hit 41% by 2030, but almost certainly you will achieve the first one, which is 26% by 2020, which is only 3 years away. Next, please. Okay, now for the exciting part of the show. So we have solutions. Next, please. 23% of your electricity will come from renewable energy by 2025. So to me, that's really exciting. That means that the renewable energy sector will grow immensely over the next 7 years. Next, please. This shows the global onshore wind cost. So in 1984 versus today, 2017. So it's gone way down. Next, please. Soon the island will be 100% renewable by 2025. So you have islands that are already going independent, becoming renewable as soon as 7 years from now. Next, please. And this is the most exciting thing, is that solar energy has gone from $79 in 1976 all the way down to 61 cents in 2015. Again, please keep this in your pocket. So there are people that will tell you, renewable energy is ridiculous, it will never happen, it's not affordable, it's not feasible, the technology is too expensive. That's not true, you know? 61 cents per watt, that's cheaper than any other form of energy right now. It's cheaper than coal, it's cheaper than natural gas, it's cheaper than oil. So please remember that this is the future, right? No one can deny this trend because it's already been low for the last 3 decades, right? We've seen a pretty consistent drop in price, and now it's just incredibly low. Next slide, please. The solar potential in Indonesia. So virtually every part of your country is ripe for solar power, right? And you see the red spots indicating that they're particularly good for solar energy, especially in the south part of the country. There's no spot here that isn't good for solar. Next, please. This is an example in North Sulawesi, and it provides electricity to 750 homes. Next, please. In West Java, this is a school that provides solar panels for electricity for computers so their kids can get online. Next, please. And this is geothermal plant. So about 5% of your capacity has been developed so far. And Indonesia, I believe, is number 3 country for geothermal potential. So this is a really good possibility in the future. Next, please. Okay, so let's finally get to the topic of the day, right, which is climate actions on the ground. When we talk about all of these statistics and the science and all this heady stuff, it doesn't really get far because we think, what can I actually do in my daily life, right? You can skip through 5 more. There's 6 of these. So these are really simple examples. They're not hard to implement. Go vegetarian. I know not everybody here is going to go vegetarian. So small changes that you can implement make a really big difference. That changes the entire food system that we have on this planet, right? All of this food that we're growing to feed cows contributes to methane and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, right? So why are we growing all this food to feed a cow and then the cow is going to feed us, right? Instead we could just be eating these vegetables that the earth is naturally growing for us, right? And it's a more healthy, sustainable lifestyle. Protect the forests. I mean, this is something that you can do. You can advocate in your communities. You can join with organizations that are already doing this work. The plastic thing, we gave a talk yesterday at a university, and I mentioned the plastic, and one girl raised her hand and she said, "That's ridiculous. I'm going to keep using plastic because it's too difficult to not use plastic," right? And so I had an extra bottle that I was able to give her, and I said, "Here you go. It's very easy." It's just consciousness, right? That's all it is. It's just changing your way of thinking. It's not like your everyday life will be so difficult that I have to bring this bottle with me everywhere I go. It's so heavy, you know? No, it's like, I mean, this plastic, this will live in the atmosphere, in the earth for, how long? 5 minutes? You'll drink this bottle and you'll just toss it on the ground? And it will live on forever? And when humans are gone, it'll be the plastic planet. Right? They say, oh wow, there must be a lot of plastic living here because there's no humans around, but this is around. And those big ones that we keep reusing in our houses, the massive, what is it, 6 gallons of, I don't know how many liters it is, but that one was on for, like 6 years, right? Because they keep reusing those big plastic bottles. So this makes a really big difference. In 5 minutes versus 6 years, and it's a pretty simple change you can make in your life. And then obviously the last 2 are about renewable energy. So just now that you have this knowledge that renewable energy is so cheap and so available, right, we get enough sunlight in 1 hour to power our needs for the entire year. In 1 hour, we get enough sunlight to power our needs for an entire year. And yet we're drilling into the ground for gas and coal and oil just because these companies want to make money, right? And they have no concern for human civilization or the environment. So we can all get together as young people and say, no, it's ridiculous. The science says that this is possible. The economics say that this is affordable. So why aren't we doing it now? And this is something we can do right away. Right? If there's a will, there's a way. Next, please. Yeah, question. Ooh.
Sorry for interrupting you, but can you explain about how come being a vegetarian can help to reduce global warming event? Thank you.
Thank you. Cow farts. Cows fart a lot. You know fart? Cows produce methane, naturally produce methane emissions, right? And naturally, the world would not have so many cows on the planet, right? It's just because we're eating them, so we produce all of these cows because we just love beef so much. And the methane is 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide for climate change. So you can imagine how much methane that is. And then to get a farm to grow all of the food for that one cow, you have to knock down all the trees that were previously there, right? And you're not growing any vegetables, you're not growing any fruits, it's just grains for the cows to eat. So then all the carbon dioxide goes up into the atmosphere, and you're just growing cow food for cows that fart. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Questions? Okay, I'm almost finished, I promise. This is really inspiring. So I was here last week. If you ever go to the Philippines, please look up this place. It's a really magical place. We have a climate reality leader that was trained by Al Gore, and 25 years ago, he had the idea to plant a few mangroves by the beach. You all know what mangroves are? Yeah? So these are mangroves. He planted some mangroves, a few mangroves by the beach, and he wasn't really thinking anything big would happen. He just wants to kind of help nature and do what he can. And 25 years later, there's 2 million mangroves growing on this beach. So imagine 2 million trees in one place. It's a mangrove forest, right? It's a jungle. And you walk in this beautiful setting of mangroves everywhere. So So this has two different effects. The first is obvious, right? The trees suck in the carbon dioxide. We give carbon dioxide to the trees, so there's that balance. But then, when the typhoon came and it hit Typhoon Yolanda, all of these trees protected the community from the ocean. Right? So the ocean comes in and the trees actually push the ocean away. So it's this kind of balance for nature, this natural balance, right? So when I look at this example, I think we can do a lot as humans for nature, but nature can do a lot for humans. Right? It doesn't mean you have to plant 2 million trees. Most of these trees planted themselves. The forest takes care of itself, right? You just do a little bit and nature will take over and do the rest. There's actually, mangroves create land. So as the Philippines is losing their land to the rising sea, the more mangroves they plant, it's creating land. It's creating mud on the land, right? It's pretty amazing, pretty magical. This is like from, what's that movie? Avatar. You walk in and you see like blue aliens everywhere. You know? Next, please. Okay, finally, this is your atmosphere. This is where all the carbon dioxide is going right now. This is your little blue earth, this beautiful magical earth, and you think, oh, it's so wonderful, it's so lovely. But it wants to kill you. Next, please. Next. Finally, don't forget that you are floating in outer space, that the Earth was here for billions of years and will be here for billions of years more when humans are gone, right? So it's not save the planet, save the planet, save the planet. It's save the humans, right? And save the life, save all this beautiful life that's around us that we hold precious. Thank you very, very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, right away, we'll begin the discussion session. So if there's any question, please raise your hand. We will open for 3 first questioners. If there's any question, please raise your hand. Okay, 1. Please tell us your name and your major and also batch, and then your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the chance. My name is Alfiano Huas. You can call me Al. I am from Environmental Health 2015, and my question is, actually, I would like to know more about the Paris Agreement. About the first part is about I don't really get what does the Paris Agreement, the first one, mean about the 26% below business. Yeah, something like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Makasih.
Sama-sama.
So this, you're talking about this slide? Yeah? Can you hear me? Yeah? Hello? Okay, good. It's actually very simple. So all the emissions, I think it was 2005, am I right? 2010? Yeah, in 2010, you had all these emissions. By 2020, it will be 26% less than 2010. Right, so it's just a percentage reduction. Does that explain? Do you need more information? What is the Paris Agreement, right? Oh yeah, business as usual. So that assumes that Indonesia will just keep going as they're normally going, right? Assuming like no changes actually happen. Because they can project, they can say Indonesia's here, and based on your current growth, it will keep going up like this. Yeah. every country has this. This is just here for Indonesia. Yeah. Thank you. Other questions?
My name is Nai. Action in Indonesia is focused on forest burning, right? So how can Indonesian go to zero deforestation while Indonesian economy depends on natural resources, especially forests and resources? Just it. How can we go to zero deforestation?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Part of it is shifting the economy, right? I'll give you an example in the United States. Recently, President Trump has said that he wants to bring back coal power in the U.S., right? But he can't do it because economically coal is it's not as affordable as solar power or wind power. What we should be doing is offering alternatives to those people. So these are people that worked in a coal mine, and if we would train them on how to use solar power and wind power, they can actually work in those industries, because those industries are creating millions of jobs. So what I would suggest to you is that as Indonesia creates more solar power and more wind power, you can actually bring companies into the renewable energy sector. And so instead of deforestation, they can actually build solar farms, build wind farms, and create more energy supply for the country. I know those industries will be around for a long time. I'm not naive. But they're implementing more sustainable practices. And we see it, a good example is in the body shop, Indonesia. These businesses are demanding sustainable wood from trees. And they're demanding, for instance, if they're going to use palm oil, they check to make sure the company is being sustainable in their management. So I think it's not just the industries that are destroying the forests, but it's also the businesses that are using the products of the forest, like that we as consumers have to demand a change. Thank you. Another question over there.
Good afternoon. My name is Fauzan Rahmatullah, and I'm from Environmental Health student from batch 2015. I would like to ask, in Indonesia, we know that we are still struggling not only about the climate change, but we're also struggling about the economy and also other stuff. How are we supposed to tackle climate change when we are still, our focus is still divided into so many other aspects that it's still a problem? So is there any way that the Climate Realize Project can help us tackle this problem to tackle not just the climate change problem, but also to make our people realize that if we can tackle this climate change problem, we can also tackle the other problem that Indonesia face. Thank you.
Thank you. So the worst country has been the United States on climate change, right? We're the ones responsible for all of this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. China's pretty close, but the United States is the worst. And I think there's a feeling around the world like if you want to develop and if you want economic growth, then you need to do it like the United States did it. But that's a huge mistake, because what we did was we took all the resources from the planet and we decided that we don't care about future generations. We just want economic growth, doesn't matter what the consequences. And you look at a city like Beijing. Has anybody been to Beijing? Yeah? So not a lot of air to breathe in Beijing, right? They didn't quite think about the air quality before they decided to build these coal plants in the city. So I would say to you that it's a myth that economic development depends on using up all of the Earth's resources, right? We're living in the 21st century. It's good? We're living in the 21st century, and we have 21st century technology. So we don't have to do it the same way that the old countries did before. I'm going to stop now. Any other questions?
everyone. My name is Dini. I'm from Research Center for Climate Change, and I want to ask how big the impact of individual climate actions will be, because I think the government can make a very powerful decisions, and for example in the US they want to cut the EPA, and I think that will affect on everything and how much we can do. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a great question. So individual actions versus the government actions, like how much can we do versus what the government's doing? In the United States, we're not waiting for Trump to do anything, you know, because we know he doesn't care about climate change. The state governments and the city governments in the U.S. are taking a lot of action. So the governor from New York and the governor from California, they have a partnership, and they're creating 50% of their electricity from renewable energy by 2030. So we're not losing hope in the United States. There's still a lot of great things happening. As far as what can I do in my own life, so that makes more of a difference, right? I think the plastic example is a good one in this, because the government isn't going to take away your plastic bottles, right? That's a human consciousness. That's an awareness for the environment and for your own health. So I think about if you tell two of your friends that they should stop buying plastic bottles, and I tell two of my friends that we should stop buying plastic bottles, right? Then the multiplying effect is incredible. So it'll start trickling down, and everybody will change their habits. And so maybe I'm being idealistic, but I think that young people really care about this issue, right? And that the more we talk about it, the more consciousness will change. So I'm passionate. I feel like we have the control as individuals to make a difference. Thank you. Question over there.
Okay, so I'm Marina. I'm from Easy Climate Change. It's a social media that I started about the climate change. So if you want to follow it on Instagram, yeah, that's my personal project.
What's it called?
Easy Climate Actions. Easy Climate Actions. Yeah. So I want to ask you, like, as we know, the climate change has been it has been worse right now. And compared to what we have did, it was actually not so much compared to the changes of the climate. So do you think, is there any way that we can reverse it? Like we can get like to the normal climate, like that? You to get it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Easy climate actions. Right? Easy climate.
Yeah, easy climate actions. That's it. Yeah.
It is easy.
Yeah.
I think there's hope. So the Paris Agreement says that we're going to get to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and then we'll achieve net zero emissions, no more greenhouse gas emissions, right? So, but that's in the future. The question is, how long will it take to get there? So I do think one day we're going to get there, but right now it's taking too long. We don't have the time to wait for things to go back down again. I think it's what you're doing. It's the easy climate actions, right? The more people we can get involved in this movement, the better off we are. Like right now, human population, how many people are living on the earth?
7 billion.
7 billion people. Yeah. It's a lot. But did you know the Earth's population is actually stabilizing? It's stabilizing.
Yeah.
So at around 9 billion people, we're going to see it actually stabilize and maybe go back down. Which gives me hope. People say, oh, it's too many people, so don't worry about it. You know, there's no way we're going to save this situation. But no, the population is stabilizing, right? We're seeing that actually we have this chance. We know how many people are living here. We know what the Earth's resources are. We just need to use our hearts and our minds to get into a balance, right? To come back to that natural balance. And it's 150 years old. You know, humans have been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And this is 150 years of crisis. So I'm confident. I think we can do it. We just need more activism.
Okay. Thank you.
There's a question over there.
Thank you for my chance to ask you. Good afternoon. My name is Raka. I'm from biologist. First question, do you ever visit the Indonesia, like, do you ever visit Indonesia before? Like, I want to ask you about what do you think about the Indonesian people to face the climate change? And then the second question, what do you think about the eco-friendly products? For the eco-friendly products, is that important for Indonesia? What do you think about that? Thank you.
Thank you. What do I think of the Indonesian people? You're all so sweet. You're so lovely. I mean, everyone is so nice, you know. I'll go home and I won't be famous anymore. But, yeah, the question is a really good one. Before we think about consuming more sustainably, I think we should think about consuming, right? Like, how much are we consuming? Because the rich people I know, the ones that are really wealthy and have a lot of stuff, aren't very happy. You know, they seem actually pretty miserable. I'm not saying that people should stay poor and live without a toilet and not have clean water and not have access to food, and I understand I'm not minimizing people's problems, but we're at a ridiculous point in the world right now where we're consuming so much for no reason, right? And it doesn't make us happy. These little phones that we're on all day long, keeping our heads down, texting everything, it makes us miserable and depressed. So why are we consuming all of this stuff if we don't really need it? You know, the question is like, what do I really need, right? And if you decide that you do need something and it's something you're going to buy, like even in Indonesia now, like places like the Body Shop have changed their practices so much that you can buy sustainable products. So at least that's available to you. But I think the first question is, like, what do I need to consume, right? Like what, like really go back to that basic question. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
There's a lot of questions.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Hello, sir. My name is David. I'm from Environmental Health Department. Well, honestly, I'm very interested in your presentation because this is so new. Because I have a big concern about climate reality. I have a big concern about climate change. I'm a volunteer in Climate Rangers. You can follow the Instagram if you want. Well, I'm currently also doing a project in climate change. It is in renewable energy sector in relation to the impact of the environment and health. So go to the point of my questions. The first question is, you mentioned that America has reached 50% renewable. Meanwhile, it has like large population in Indonesia. And what do you think that Indonesia can do to make that happen in Indonesia? And then the second question is, as you mentioned, Indonesia will reach 23% renewable by 2025. Is that correct? Well, do you think that's a pessimistic number? Because I feel like Indonesia has like great potential in renewable energy, like solar and wind and geothermal, as you said. Do you think that's a pessimistic number, and what do you think the barriers are? Thank you.
Thank you. The barrier is infrastructure. So, like right now, not only is your country not ready for solar and wind and all this infrastructure, but like my country is also not ready, you know? We have this grid system that's pretty old and relies on coal and oil for its electricity. So that's the change that will need to happen pretty quickly for Indonesia or the United States or any of these countries to catch up. Smaller countries are actually having a lot of success, right? I'm thinking of like Singapore being a good example. In Europe, you have countries in like Germany, for example, Denmark. These countries have gone completely renewable and done it really quickly because they have a lot of capital, they have a small country, and they can do it fast, right? But to give you some hope, there is a map online that I could pull up for you that's really amazing, and it shows you how much land do you need for 100% solar energy around the world. And it's like nothing. Like every continent has a little tiny bit of land, and you put all solar panels there, and that's 100% solar electricity for the continent. So remember that it's not it's not a problem of putting the solar panels on the ground and getting the electricity there. The problem is how do you distribute that electricity around the world, right? That's like, right now that's the challenge. But we're getting there. I mean, in the next 1 or 2 decades, the infrastructure will be there. The battery technology, like Elon Musk and Tesla, the batteries have developed now and become cheaper than ever. So that means even when the sun isn't coming at night, you can still use the batteries to store all of that sunlight. So, yeah. That's okay. Thank you.
Right, is there?
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Garu and I'm a student of Environmental Health batch 2016. My question may be a little bit different, but I want to ask about the solar cells that you have mentioned, and we all know that it is such a solution for the climate change problem. But actually, in reality, that crystalline silicon solar cells, it also produces any chemical toxic that also harm the environment. Meanwhile, it might save the climate change problem, it might help it, but how about, but it also harm the environment. I mean, so how about that? What can you do about that? Since it also is the solution, but it actually harm the environment. Thank you.
That's a great question. Yeah. I think you probably have a better answer than I do for that question. It sounds like you have some ideas on how to solve it. But my opinion is, even the cell phone. I mean, there's more cell phones on Earth than there are humans, right? Which is amazing. It's like a planet of cell phones and plastic. And the problem is, where are we getting the minerals, the source of chemicals for all these cell phones? Right? It's all extremely toxic, and we just throw it away in the garbage, and then it goes back to the Earth. That to me is actually a bigger problem than what do we do with all those solar panels, right? Because we wouldn't need nearly as many solar panels as we do cell phones on the Earth right now. But it's a good question. I mean, it's a valid question. What do we do after they're gone? Right now, the life cycle for a solar panel is, I think, about 30 to 40 years, right? And they'll have to replace them with something else. There are a lot of solar farms, the big ones, that are concerned with sustainability. So they won't just put a solar farm and that's it and walk away and let it operate. They're actually doing a lot of work to reforest, so doing reforestation efforts to use the money and the profits for local communities. And I think that those companies are thinking not just about the bottom line profits, but like what do we actually do for the planet once these solar technology is actually gone. We do have a whole team of scientists at Climate Reality. So if anybody's interested in that, I can give you more information. There's like 5 or 6 of us that are scientists, and they work on climate science all day long, and they have a much better answer to that question. So you can always email info@climatereality.com, and they will give you a nice answer. Thank you.
Is there any more questions?
Thank you. My name is Sudono. Sir, I want to ask, in implementing the climate actions on the ground, what is the biggest obstacles we face or we will face, and how should we act about it? Yeah. Thank you.
Has anyone ever planted a tree? Yeah, one person? Cell phones away. Has anyone ever planted a tree? Not that many people. So if you haven't planted a tree, what's the reason why? For me, it's laziness. I'm just lazy. If I don't have to go to work and it's a weekend, I would rather just stay at home with my friends. I'm not going out to a forest to plant a tree, right? But it's actually awesome. It's a lot of fun and it's great work. I think the laziness is the biggest problem that we have, is that people don't want to step outside and actually do something for nature. I'm going home and I'm going to plant a lot of trees because I've done it now in the Philippines, in Indonesia. I've planted more trees here than I ever have before I came here. And you guys have inspired me. So I think it's something that we can all do, and it's really basic, right? and these local actions, it's just like, just be motivated. Like, just get out of your bed, go call your friends, and be like, hey, let's go plant some trees. It's not that hard, you know? It's just lazy. Like, we're so lazy. Yeah. Thank you. There's a question, there's a bunch of questions here.
Thank you. My name is Gisma. I'm from Biology Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science. I want to ask you, why mass media nowadays, like television, really give us information about climate change? It's usually give us information about harassment, like killing people or suicidal news. And the next question is, I think it's a ridiculous question, but I want to ask you, in your opinion, the effect of climate change today will lead to global warming or global freezing? Thank you.
Global breathing?
Global freezing. Freezing. Yes.
If a limit on climate change will lead to global freezing?
In your opinion.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'll answer the first one. The second one, I don't know. Global freezing. I don't know if I prefer freezing or warming. The first question, can you repeat the first question? I'm sorry.
Why media?
Oh yeah, on the media, yeah.
In the television, why media is rarely give us information about climate change?
Well, in 2015 when you had the fires, I think there was more discussion about climate change in Indonesia, right?
But only in that years, and the next years is it's gone.
Yeah, and we have the same problem. Like when Hurricane Sandy came and hit New York, everyone was talking about climate change for like 2 weeks, and then we stopped. Because it's like only if it's like in front of you and you're seeing it, then it will be in your consciousness. And then it's like Trump, 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 Trump. And it's like, I don't want to watch, that's so boring. You know, it's not interesting. But the climate change doesn't sell news, right? It's not interesting. I mean, most people aren't into it. They don't give an exciting presentation where they show the consequences of what's happening. So the challenge at Climate Reality is connecting the storms and the flooding and the landslides and the droughts and the hurricanes and the typhoons and the disasters to the overall climate change. So this big effect that's happening to these immediate storms, right? But that's the problem, like, it's reported as weather, right? Like, weather is happening, but it's more a long-term problem that the media needs to talk about. It may not be sexy, but we have to make it more sexy, right? And I don't know about global freezing. I'm sorry. But you can email us.
Hello, my name is Nada from Environmental Health major, batch 2016. I want to ask that in this faculty, when we buy food from the canteen, we sometimes take away and the package is made of plastics. So as you said earlier that we have to stop using plastic. So we change it with paper. So I want to ask, what do you think? Which one is better? Using paper but it cut down trees, or we just keep using plastics? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're both bad, right? They're both bad, like paper, plastic. Like, I think again it goes back to that question of consumption. Like, when you think about what you want to consume, like what I do is I always bring Tupperware. You know Tupperware? Yeah. Ah, so you have Tupperware. Even if you bring 5 Tupperware and leave it in your car or take one in your bag and just bring it with you all day long, then you're not probably going to use paper or plastic, right? You'll just keep reusing the Tupperware again and again and again and again. What was it? It's also made of plastic. Yeah, that's true. But that will last you a long time, the Tupperware, no? You'll probably use it for your entire life until you die. And then when I die, I'll give my Tupperware to my grandchildren. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Maybe from the left side? Okay.
Hello, I'm Pandari Puspaning Tias from Environmental Health Major. So we're curious about the climate-related project itself. So can you tell us more about the project itself that you... thank you.
Of course. We've done about 35 trainings with Al Gore. So Al Gore is still very active and he is leading the project. 35 different trainings around the world in 11 years, and we trained 12,000 people. So now 12,000 people are giving this presentation, but they're also doing local work on climate change, right? So in Indonesia, we have 300 people who have gone to a training with Al Gore, and some of them are here in the room. They are planting trees, they're saving the forests, they're supporting renewable energy, all those things I put on my board and more. We have in Bandung this eco camp that we visited a few days ago, and the climate reality leader started this project. He brings young people to his eco camp and he teaches them about farming and planting vegetables, taking care of the earth. It's really focused on education and awareness, right? It's building this consciousness, and if the more minds we change, the more hearts we change, then we're definitely going to win this movement. So I don't know, does that answer your question a little bit? Yeah, thank you.
Is there any more questions?
So many questions. It's nice though. The other lecture, there was no questions. Yeah. To eat today.
My name is Halma. I'm from Environmental Health student. My question is, how can we plant trees when the land itself is being built for something like malls and apartments? Thank you.
That's a great question. So what's great about cities, so 60% of the world's population lives in cities, right? And it's growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So everybody's coming to the cities like Jakarta. Even though cities contribute a lot of pollution, they take up less land. When you think about the total amount of land that cities take, right? So part of the work is making sure that cities are more dense and building good transportation systems so people can actually get around in the city. The problem with planting trees, like you said, is that the land is constantly being used for commercial purposes. If we plant one tree and then walk away, it won't have the power to grow because trees need water, they need attention, right? We can't just leave them in the ground and expect them to build a forest, right? The mangrove forest needed attention for 25 years in order to come up with 2 million mangroves. We should build more green spaces in cities, right? And I think the mayor, the governor of Jakarta has actually done a great job. In Bandung, we also went and saw some of the public spaces that were being built. But we should also think about outside the cities, right? And reclaim some of the land. And so I'll give you an example. Where I'm from in New York, it's called Long Island. And we, in the 1950s, destroyed all the trees in Long Island. All the forests are gone now. And they wanted to build houses, like just tons of houses in the suburbs. So now you go to a place that was completely forest and you don't see any trees anywhere. It's not green at all. And I think, what a stupid idea that they thought to build all these houses when all these people are going, every day they sit in traffic for 2 hours, they're going sitting in traffic to get to their job. Then at night they sit 2 hours more in traffic to get home. So it's 4 hours they're sitting in traffic just so they can go back to their house. And you know, it's crazy, like it doesn't make any sense. And I think our generation, our millennials, are understanding and benefiting from those mistakes. Like we don't want to live like that far and spend all of our time sitting in traffic all day, right? We've got to be in the city and living where we work and living where we study and sharing a space together. So I think there's some promising stuff happening. We can reclaim the land that was once used for the sprawling cities going everywhere, and now let's turn it into green space and let's reforest those areas, right? I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Thank you.
Is there any more questions? Is there any? Okay.
I don't know.
Which one?
Oh, no, he's not.
Is there any?
Okay. Thank you for the second chance to ask about this climate change. My name is Fauzan Ahmadullah from the Environmental Health major, batch 2015. So as you mentioned before in Dafik's question about how much space do we actually need to build, to install the solar panel to reach 100% solar energy, right? So, if you mentioned that we need so little space in a continent. So what is hindering us to install the solar panel when it only needs a small space of land in our continent? And for the second question is about the planting tree. So I see that in my surroundings that most people in Indonesia that seeing planting tree as a so-so action. I mean, like, oh, it's only planting tree. And also the media doesn't really think planting tree is a really good, is not a really good news to give to the people. So how should we, as people who care about the environment, should tackle this problem? Thank you.
Thank you. So the first question was about solar power and how much land do you actually need, and the second question was on planting trees. So nobody takes it seriously. Like, oh yeah, you plant a tree, it's like for babies. Babies can also plant trees. The first question, the reason it's not happening, right, is because on the free market, solar power is a lot cheaper than anything else. Free market, no subsidies, nobody supporting anything, everything is equal. But in reality, we've had oil companies, coal companies, gas companies, they've been around for a long time. And they've constantly been working with governments to make sure that their industry is supported. So the governments of the world actually support them through tax breaks, they give them subsidies, there's a whole way that they can be supporting oil companies, right? In the US, an oil company can take their profits and give money to a politician for their campaign. And that politician now owes a favor to the oil company, which is, to me, just corruption, right? That means we don't have a democracy in the United States. So that stuff is happening all over the world, and it's crazy. We need to stop it, you know? That's the first question. The second question, the trees. Like, we're all, in this room, we're all sitting in this inside environment. We're not out in nature. We're all on our cell phones. We're all using our technology. We're living so far away from nature and far away from our roots. And I think that's causing a lot of distress and unhappiness in humans, right? When you feel the peace of sitting in a forest and just kind of relaxing and sitting there, there's nothing better than that, right? Everyone wants to go to nature. And when someone goes on vacation, they normally go to a place that's relaxing, quiet. So like all these people go to Bali, right? They go there for the nature and for the peace. I think the problem is the people don't take trees seriously because they're not connected with the natural environment, right? They're living in a city and they're not surrounded by trees all day. So they don't see the benefits to reforesting the planet. But the science is there and the solutions are there. So if you use the example of the mangrove forest with 2 million trees, and you show someone, this is how much carbon dioxide is being saved every year because of this mangrove forest. And that's what's also happening in Indonesia. I just use the science to your benefit, right? And explain to people that all this deforestation deforestation is having a horrible effect on climate change, especially in Indonesia. Deforestation is such a big problem. So humans can step up, we can replant the forests, and we can restore that balance again. Thank you.
Okay, I think that will be our last questions in this discussion session. And maybe all of you have been so full of, oh my God, this is really happening. This climate is really changing. I really get stressed from this session, but don't worry because Matt has been talking about how we should change our mind, right? We have to set our mindset to be peaceful, to be more calm, yes, and to relate more to nature. Yes. And
so we're not only bringing peace to our planet, but we have to bring peace in our mind. Yes. And thankfully, our speaker today is also a yoga instructor, and he's very specialized in it. And we would like to ask our dear speaker to do some yoga with us. Would you like to do so?
Okay.
Okay. Is it okay with you? Do you guys want to learn some yoga stuffs?
Because
yes.
Matthew would like to demonstrate how to be more peaceful and more calm and more relate to the nature.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Lampunya
tolong dimatiin. Lampu.
Okay, so get ready, okay? Maybe you can stand up from your seat.
Oh, this one doesn't work?
I think it's slow. The battery is slow.
I'm scared of this one.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
We can turn this off also.
Okay.
Can you turn off those lights as well? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay, if you have technology, now is the time to put it away, please. I ask you to please put your phone away, put your computer away. It's just 2 minutes of your life. It can wait. Thank you. Everybody stand up. Gently close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart. And when you inhale your breath, bring your hands above your head. And bring them over to your left side. Exhale. Left side, yeah. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, right side. Inhale. Exhale, left side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Inhale up again. And exhale, fold the lower legs. And just hang in here, just enjoy. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. slowly coming up, slow. Your head is the last to arrive, really slow. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and think of one person that you really love, that one person. And send your love to them. All the knowledge that you have today, send it to them and wish them well. You can gently open your eyes. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Matthew, for your awesome presentation, for a very fruitful discussion, and for a very refreshing yoga exercise. So we've come to the end of our event.
Yes. And we hope you all enjoyed the session and
We hope that you all learned something that is very meaningful towards our lives, towards our worlds, and towards everyone here.
Yes.
But before we close our event, we would like to
invite Miss
Ms. Ririn to give souvenirs towards our guest speaker today. So, Mr. Matthew, you could come forward to receive the souvenirs. Yeah. The souvenir will be given by Dr. Ririn Armisi as the Head Department of Environmental Health. Thank you very much. Okay, sure.
And we want to say thank you to everyone for being here. There's one more gift.
From the receptacle of University of Indonesia.
Thank you.
Something for you.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yes. And we want to say thank you to the entire university and thank you for caring so much about climate change. We have a small gift for you. This is the green ring. When you see Al Gore in the new movie or meeting with President Trump, he's wearing this green ring. So wear this pin as a symbol of your commitment to help spread the reality of the climate crisis. Wear it and you're taking a stand for action. Wear it and together we can change the world.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Matthew Bones. It is very interesting. I think now we have to commit, start from ourselves, for yourself, that we have to not to use the plastic bag, plastic bottle, and reduce the waste. We have to save our earth. It is for all of us. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Boom, Ibu Katili, and for all the students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So we've reached the end of our event. Someone. So I want to thank you for coming to our event. Okay, before we close our event, we would like to take a picture together first, so everyone could stand on your seat.
Semuanya berdiri, di fotonya dari sini. Jadi
We'll have a photo session. Okay.
Yeah.
So please remain in your seat. Please stand up in the middle side of this building.